Bass Reeves, 1838 to 1910, was one of the most legendary figures of the American Old West. Born into slavery, he escaped to freedom and went on to become one of the first black deputy U.S. Marshals west of the Mississippi River. Over a 32-year career in law enforcement, Reeves brought thousands of outlaws to justice and became an enduring icon of American history. Reeves was born in Crawford County, Arkansas in 1838. As a child, he was enslaved by William S. Reeves, who later relocated his family and enslaved workers to Grayson County, Texas. During the American Civil War, Reeves was taken along as a valet/bodyguard by his enslaver's son. Following a dispute, Reeves fled to Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma. While living among the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole nations, Reeves learned their languages, customs, tracking methods, and survival skills. These experiences laid the groundwork for his future career as a federal lawman. Following the 13th Amendment and the end of the Civil War, Reeves bought land near Van Buren, Arkansas, where he worked as a farmer and occasionally served as a guide for federal marshals heading into Indian Territory. In 1875, Judge Isaac C. Parker, the hanging judge, appointed Marshal James F. Fagan to hire 200 deputy marshals to clean up the notoriously dangerous Indian Territory. Hearing of Reeves's mastery of the terrain, languages, and marksmanship, Fagan recruited him. His career: service area: Western District of Arkansas, Indian Territory, Eastern District of Texas. Years in service: 1875 to 1907, 32 years as a U.S. Deputy Marshal. Arrested: over 3,000 felons brought to justice. Because he was born into slavery, Reeves never learned to read or write. Before riding out, he would have someone read his warrants aloud until he memorized every detail. He never served the warrant on the wrong person. Reeves was widely known for his strict devotion to duty, treating the law as absolute regardless of who was involved. In 1902, when his son Benjamin was charged with murder, Reeves insisted on serving the warrant himself. He tracked down his son, arrested him, and turned him over to the court. Benjamin was convicted, served time, and was later pardoned. He pursued legendary outlaws, including cattle rustler Bob Dozier and deadly gunman Jim Webb. Outlaw Belle Starr reportedly turned herself in upon learning that Reeves was the officer assigned to her warrant. Many historians believe Bass Reeves served as a major real-world inspiration for the fictional Lone Ranger, citing similarities such as riding a gray horse, handing out silver dollars, working closely with Native American allies, and employing disguises. Despite serving 32 years on the frontier and arresting thousands of criminals, Reeves never suffered a single gunshot wound, though his hat and belt were shot through on multiple occasions. Jim Webb was a notorious, cold-blooded gunman who had killed several people. In 1884, Reeves and a native tracker located Webb at a ranch. Webb fled into the open brush, turning to fire at Reeves with a rifle. Webb shot twice, clipping Reeves's hat and cutting his reins. Unfazed, Reeves dismounted, drew his rifle, and fired a single shot that mortally wounded Webb from a distance. As Webb lay dying, he gave Reeves his gun, stating he respected the marshal too much to die hating him. Reeves frequently used trickery to avoid bloodshed altogether. While hunting two outlaw brothers hiding out at their mother's cabin, Reeves shot holes through his own old clothes and walked miles barefoot to look like a desperate fugitive on the run. He knocked on the mother's door, claimed posse men were chasing him, and was invited inside. The mother introduced him to her sons when they returned. Reeves waited until they fell asleep, quietly handcuffed both brothers, and marched them out at sunrise. Historical biographer Art T. Burton famously argued that Bass Reeves was the primary real-world inspiration for the Lone Ranger, created for radio in 1933. While the radio show's creators never explicitly named Reeves, the circumstantial evidence is striking. Bass Reeves served for more than 30 years, surviving gunfights, ambushes, racial hostility, and the lawless violence of the frontier. At a time when black men were often denied dignity, protection, and authority, Reeves wore a federal badge and enforced the law with unmatched discipline. He died in 1910, but his legacy has only grown. Many believe his life inspired later Western lawman legends, including stories connected to the Lone Ranger. Whether that connection is exact or not, the truth is powerful enough. Bass Reeves was real. He was not a myth. He was not a side character. He was one of the most successful lawmen in American history. Closing line. Bass Reeves rode through a lawless frontier with a badge, a rifle, and a reputation no outlaw wanted to test, proving that black courage helped define the real American West.